Beautiful beings of the universe, welcome to another episode of Now. And light yourself some awesome candle for the warmth. Make yourself some fabulous mint green tea. And alternatively, as always, goddess green Tara for the positive energy. And I'm also going to light another green colored incense, which has got an awesome vibe, which I absolutely love. Because you must learn how to set a good vibe for yourself. If you keep on depending on somebody else, guess what? Nobody's coming for you. So, here you go. Also, I wanted to show you this beautiful boat shaped in which there is a Zen monk. If you can see in the camera, there is a Zen monk who sits on the boat, metallic boat, and on this I place this incense. So like he can meditate, whereas I get the good smell as well at the same time. So okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about the courage that you must have to push through the troubled waters of life. Get yourself some hot beverage, tea, coffee, or whatever you like, or green tea. Today I felt like I should make green tea, so good for your throat. So, if you feel that you have been tested too much, and basically everybody is tested, to be born means you're going to get a lot of tests every single day. The problems might be in different formats. For somebody else, it might be a difficult job. Somebody else, it might be difficult relationship. Or for someone else, it might be gang stalking. Or somebody else, it might be community refusal to keep them. Or for somebody else, they might have some health issues or whatever be the problem. But know that everybody on this planet has got some or the other problem. So don't think that you're the only one that is suffering. Know that there is collective conscious and collective unconscious. Now, the collective unconscious suffers. So the root thing is suffering. The stem of the suffering might be different. The branches of the suffering might be different. So, whatever it be, or you want to create something and you're facing hurdles and challenges, you're facing a lot of limitation from the external world, people not approving of you, or they're trying to come in your way. Whatever is the problem statement, whatever. Or somebody who's on the last stage of cancer and they so badly want to stay alive and they would do anything just to stay alive another day, right? So I'm not saying that your condition is better than that cancer survivor, because in an essence it is, because what is your problem if you're not alive? So the most important step is you must keep yourself happy and healthy. Step 1. And from there on you go about doing whatever you want to do. Because if you're not alive, then well, maybe you would stay as a spirit and then you would have another challenges. I don't know. But I have studied this Tibetan book of Bardo, Tibetan book of Dead. And in that, if you think that because you have died, your game is over, you're in for another shock. Because when you die, it's only your body that dies. And you are very much alive. So you do see your relatives, your friends, or people at the clinic examining your body. And I watched a lot of video of people who had NDE, near death experiences. And they talked like how when they were declared clinically dead and they were still very much there, they could see that their body is down there, but from up they are able to see everything that is happening. And then somehow they were dead for 4 hours and then they came back. So don't think that your Death of the physical body is the end of you. Anyway, I'll make another video on what happens after death. The next one. That's very interesting though. I'll take note of that. But in this video, I wanted to talk about pushing through the troubled times. So while you are in the troubled water, you cannot just give in. In fact, let go of this idea also that I have to fight it. Because the more your small ego that comes in your way and says that I want to make myself better, the more you're trying to make yourself better, the small I, more you're going to lose your energy. Every time you fail, you're going to hate yourself. And here's the thing, as long as you do not fail, you never learn. And if you're so big on your sense of I am the doer, you would never ever allow yourself to fail. I wanted to read a great quote which I wrote down today from one of my favorite scientists, Richard Feynman. He's phenomenal. Just check out his work. I'm sure you already know about Richard Feynman, but in case if you don't, just look him up on YouTube. So he says, the only way to learn is to do. The only way to do is to try. The only way to try is to fail. And the only way to fail is to learn. So you see how you started from learning to doing to trying to failing. And it's in your failure that you actually learn. So if you're always trying to avoid that failure, then you're never going to learn a thing. Be it cooking. How does one become a good chef? How does one become a good cook? By constantly trying to improve their dish, by constantly trying to create something new. And you might not be up for a competition. You might just be a hobbyist who wants to cook good food for yourself so that you enjoy the meal that you make for yourself. And it need not be a competition based thing that you should prepare the best meal within a time or within 15 minutes. You're not in any chef competition. But if you could learn to do good cooking for yourself, you're going to enjoy your life. It's a great skill. It's a great, awesome thing that you can learn. Great cooking. That's going to change your life in so many ways. And then, so this is about the power of focus and learn. I'm also checking out because I write a lot from the different sources of information that I get, and whatever I like, I take a note of that. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is the three self skills that you're going to have: self awareness, self control, and self surrender. So, what is your earnestness? It is sincere and intense conviction. The concept I am comes spontaneously and it goes spontaneously. Time and again, you would be forced by life. You're going to get forced to find the answer, to know who you are. And our whole life is about evading from this knowing of who you are. Every time you go out and try to create something, and then you face the opposition, so called haters or enemies, those are basically your checkpoints. The checkpoint is you must find out who you are. And here's the thing, the deeper you go within yourself so that you are finding out who you are, and the deeper you can sit with the darkness, deeper you can sit with the unknown, in that proportion is your confidence to face the unknown gets more and more. So somebody who's constantly looking for pleasure, who's constantly looking to just go out there and enjoy because they cannot sit with themselves, they are getting nowhere. They are getting nowhere. I read a good quote from Gaur Gopal Das, and he says this, that the soldiers who sweat in the training are far less likely to bleed in the war zone. And same is your case spiritually. Like if you know how to sit with yourself in the dark, that means sitting in the pain. That means sitting with the unease, sitting with sitting when you don't want to sit, doing that work when you don't want to do, but do it anyway. And see, can you do that? And there's a great paradox to it. Like once you have done that, despite your body resisting you to from doing that hard work, you gradually feel, oh, that was not so bad. So many times your mind magnifies a problem much more than what it actually is. And that might go for every single thing. You might be overlooking and trying to find faults in your relations for no reason. You might be trying to find faults in others because finding fault inside yourself and fixing that means a lot of work. So it's far easier if you could go outside and blame and make somebody a scapegoat. But see, making somebody a scapegoat doesn't solve a problem. Societies have tried that for so long. They find somebody as a scapegoat and then they all come together, want to destroy. But that doesn't solve your problem. Because individually, what everyone's got to do is do their own problem resolution. Here's the thing, we all know inside ourselves what is the right thing to do. Nobody needs to tell you that you should wake up early. You know that. But still, when the morning alarm goes and you don't want to wake up, like this is my problem, I do that every day. So it's not that I don't know that I have to wake up. There is an inner guru which stays inside everyone, and that says, that guides you moment to moment of every second of your waking life what you should be doing. But since you see that you do not have faith in yourself, you do not have belief in yourself, so you want an external guru. And that's why people go out in search of some external guru who's going to tell them the same thing that you already know. But it feels nice to listen from someone else. It feels good when there's somebody else who's telling me things how to do. Isn't it true? So Nisargadatta Maharaj talks about this, and I will quote that. Confide in your own inner self, and you need no outer guru. You must have strong desire to find him and do nothing that will create obstacles and delays. Honestness is the key of it all. Sincere and intense conviction. True knowledge is to abide in your own self. State of emptiness, free of all content. I'm not this and I'm not that. I'm not this and I'm not that. Nor is anything mine. This I'm not. That I'm not. I just am. I become the inner witness of the thing. Love. Capacity of entering other focal points of consciousness. So, what is love? What is love? Nisargadatta Maharaj defines this. Capacity of entering other focal points of consciousness is love. So, you know what somebody else is thinking if you just put your attention on them. And that's strange. That's called as telepathy. wherein you do not physically talk to the person, but your heart communicates to the other person's heart. And all of this happens through your intuition. So there are two organs for intuition. One is your gut, and the second is your heart center. And just do this experiment. If you actually want to speak to someone who's not even in your country, like for example, I've done this and I can communicate. Like for someone who's not living in physically located in a country, but your relative who lives in some other country, I can think about my family member or my nephew or niece or my parents or my sister. And even without having to speak to them on phone or having to meet them face to face, I somehow know that they were thinking about me. Or somebody you just knew from your childhood, somebody who you have not met in decades now. But a memory from your childhood comes, and then you think, oh, yeah, she was there, my schoolmate, or he was there, my schoolmate. And somehow then you get to see a notification from them online, or you get a message from them. Strange. That's what is telepathy. Or somebody you might not have spoken for years, but suddenly you they just come in your thought. Either they might have been thinking about you, or you might have thought about them. And you need not have any motivation behind anything, but just a sense of well-wish, just a sense of coexistence in a happy way, so that the world is a beautiful place and it's not ruined by hatred, right? So that is love. You need not actually speak to them or see them, but just a thought of well-being. That is love. Like how God has created the world just out of love. God doesn't expect anything from you. Like how nature has created things. Nature doesn't expect anything. But we humans, we are hell-bent on destroying it through massive factories and a lot of technology usage so that we can just go on draining all of the resources of the planet. Anyway, I'll move on to the next point. At any point of space and time, I can be both the subject and the object of experience. I express it by saying that I am both and neither and beyond both. See, this is so deep. Your thoughts about your own individuality are not your own thoughts, they are all collective thoughts. How awesome is that? So, somebody who lives in higher state of consciousness, they're also at that level because the world around them, they wanted somebody who should have a high consciousness, and that's why the society formed people with higher states of consciousness who could bring about peace and love and joy amidst all of this drama and chaos. The light beings, the light workers. And the people who are creating war and spreading hate, those are also the child of the thoughts of many more other people of the collective unconscious who lived out of fear, and then they made their fears come real in the form of hate, in the form of war, in the form of division. So here's the thing, what you think becomes real, so just be careful what you wish for. Be very careful what you wish for, because that might get real and then you might not like it. So who's to blame? Who's to blame? There's that song. You should be careful what you wish for, because your wish might come true. At any point of space and time, I can be both the subject and the object of experience. I express it by saying that I am both and neither and beyond both. That's what Maharaj said from his meditation that he did for all this while. I am meditating on I am. What is that I am? Just the witness, just the knower. Because you might be whatever your age, but you remember your childhood, you remember your teenage years, you remember your adult years, you will remember your future old years, and you will also remember your death. So that I am was there while you were born. You don't remember the point of time while you were born. You don't remember the situation around you, can you? You don't. And try as much backwards as you can go down the memory lane, and you will only find your memory maximum till 3 years maybe, and or else if you have a very good memory, maybe 2 years, but you won't remember or recollect the point when while you were born. But Maharaj says that the I am principle is there in you at the time you were born, and even that was there inside while you were in the conception mode. So even while you were in the womb, you had your body not physically manifested externally, but you existed. That I am that is present at your birth will also witness your death. But nobody wants to wants to be aware of what is the most important thing in this life, to discover yourself, who you are. But the demons and the society, energy vampires, want to just keep you busy with mundane mindless things so that you can just keep on hoarding money to buy things and to consume, and that overconsumption will kill you. It's like the lab rats, right? So lab rats are given excess of food and they go on eating till they die. That's your society doing to you. If you do not stay woke and see, I don't want to play this game, that's how you'll end up. So, first, they will create a problem and they will sell a solution. And they will force you into believing that you need it. You need that because without that, you are like a travel person. You are so outdated. You are so old school. But whatever, choose your way of life. Just do that seems right to you. Nisargadatta Maharaj says, stay at the present moment. Give yourself completely to the task at present moment, which is to die now, to the now, for living is dying. So this was the thing I was talking about yesterday. The most difficult thing is to be in the now. Because to truly be alive in the current state means to be aware of lot of problems, to be aware of the pain in your body, to be aware of unease, to be aware of discomfort, pain, things you want to avoid, misery, suffering. So no wonder we have this phone which keeps us distracted. At least that gives us some some happiness. And all that we want is happiness. So we keep scrolling on our phone or watch that long YouTube video thinking that at least I have something meaningful that I'm doing. Because a person would do anything just to run away from themselves. They might be engaged into anything that takes them further from themselves, because deep inside you, who you are is so dark, and you're terrified of that darkness. Nobody wants to face that darkness until you have the courage, and it needs all of the courage that you have to face yourself. So Maharaj says, without death life cannot be. By meditating on the knowledge I am, gradually settles down and merges with the universal knowledge, and then becomes totally free, like the sky or the space. Eventually, the seeker must disappear. You are what you're seeking. Your true being exists prior to the arising of any concept. Go in the direction of I am. So, what is your sadhana? What is your practice? Initially, you must start with practice. Just sit with yourself and just watch yourself. Don't be in a rush to do this and that. Don't just be in a rush to run around and go outside and make something happen. Because no matter how hard you try, you are going to come back home unfulfilled and be on this hamster wheel that makes you run again. And that's going to make you run forever. Go in the direction of I am. That is your sadhana. So basically, I am is your accelerated ripening. Your being and your knowing are your own. Develop a witness attitude, and you will find in your own experience that detachment brings control. I'll repeat that again. Develop a witness attitude, and you will find in your own experience that detachment brings control. So if you feel that life has just been running so wild, and I feel it's just ever out of control no matter how hard I try, is because you're too attached to be a perfect someone. And that illusion, that image that you have made of that perfect is sold to you by advertising, by marketing, by internet, by society, by people in your family. Your family is no different from society. Your family is born out of a society that is totally consumerism and capitalist based. So, your idea of a perfect, successful life is not really yours. The fact that you cannot sit with yourself without internet, without music, without any form of distraction, and and they would call you have ADHD or whatever things they call it. But all of that is because you were told that sitting by yourself is a useless thing. You're a loser. What are you doing? You're not being productive. See how the society rewards being productive. And what is the reward? So that you can eat more, so that you can consume more, so that you can get more disease. And then you go to these and you buy these medicines, which is basically poison, which has got far more side effects than the truly cure of your disease. And on the front, they are going to numb your pain. So you feel, yeah, that medicine worked because guess what? My pain is gone. They are not going to solve your root cause of the problem. And every human has this power of self healing, but that needs unwinding. That needs you be with yourself, first of all. And a society which is always running so that you work, and the more the amount of your time is taken, more busier your calendar, you're more rewarded for that. And then the new technology comes, and this mad game of technology that is going to just keep you tied. Learn, else you'll be left far behind. And by the time you learn, there's another upgrade and there's something else new around the corner. So, all of this is what? Distraction. Ideally, technology is meant to free you. I read an awesome quote on Reddit today, and that said, I want AI to do the cleaning of my house and do my laundry and dishes so that I can work on the art that I want. And I do not want AI to do the art for me so that I have to again go back to do my laundry and dishes. And this is what is going on. All of your creative endeavors, your way of thinking would be taken over totally by a machine, by AI. And what are you supposed to do? Sit and rot? If all of this is used in a right way, then we all can live much better way of life with a lot of free time. That means the burden of mindlessly working and slogging hard, that would be taken away, and then you can have a lot of time to do the creative things by yourself, things that you like, and not to people please externally. So then you should not have to worry about job, so that could pay you bills, because if AI is there and then there is all of this automated stuff, then all of your basic needs should be met, and you should have a lot of time to unwind, relax, and find out who you are. Take a good walk in the nature, bare feet, touching the grass, being in nature, having a good community where people truly talk to each other and people are not gang stalking on each other because they have been paid. You see how deep is all of this going? All of this would be the case if the society was sane. If if the agenda and the intention of the people creating technology that was sane. But what is the use if they are again going to train the algorithms even in AI to do partiality, to select this set of people for this type of a job? Because why? I would rather prefer them because they're like me. Then there's just no point of having a technology. That's not for the advancement. That's rather falling backwards. And that's the stage of the world. You seem to run, but you're just running on a treadmill and you're going nowhere. You might have more, and people be just having more stuffs and more houses and more cars and more travel, more vacation, more clothes, more diamonds, more stuffs, but no happiness. You still feel deep inside you something that is so empty and hollow because you do not have any sort of a real connection with people. Like Aldous Huxley talks about his book in his book. I was reading that yesterday. Brave New World. And I'm shocked. What a wise man in 1950s, and how similar the world is even now in 2025. And there seems to have no change at all. Brave New World, wherein people would just live like a zombie. People would have relationships and marry each other just based on parameters, like a machine marrying another machine. There's no true connection. And you're not supposed to ever say if there is something that is wrong. You are always going to say, yeah, this is awesome. And I'm loving it. Don't you see everything is so perfect? And in that book, Brave New World, he talks about this thing called as soma. And soma is a drink which everybody drinks and then they just forget their problems. And they're ever in a state of bliss. That is a weak man who's not even trained to see the truth because truth is painful. It's like they would take away your two eyes so that you never see and paint a picture in your mind that everything is perfect. And you just say, this is perfect, that is awesome. And in that world, the brave new world, even the children, they are not born like how real humans are. They are all incubated in machines and they are trained to be a perfect machine worker, laboratory, factory worker. So they are trained to hate nature. A small baby, see, this is the test they did on all of the lines of babies. And they would take the babies to the flower, and then by the time the baby smells the flower, then they're given this injection and they get a shock. And that brings about a memory of fear. So that means they can never ever like the natural state of being and they would never want to go back in nature. And the programming is as such so that when the factory lines come in, they are just working non-stop. And they become happy for the fact that I'm so productive. And they don't want to go back in nature and they never question the authority. Why have you made me like a slave? Because they are born that way. They're all just born as products, as slaves. That is exactly the state of the world now. Centuries pass by and nothing changes. And we call ourselves we are living in a modern world, but our problems are just the same. There was a great shaman, and he said that whatever you have which is an excess is going to cause you a lot of suffering. Whether you have taken that by attacking onto others or by looting from them or through dishonesty, whatever is not what you actually need, whatever you have hoarded in excess, that can never bring you joy. That's how the nature works. You look at the birds, they eat whatever they whenever they are hungry. You look at the animals, you look at the trees. But when we got into this nature of hoarding, and that's how the whole culture became, and that's when we started fearing that, oh, I have this supply for another 2 to 3 years, but what after that? Because somebody else has hoarded more than me. And what if nobody helps you at that time when you need help? And that started an era of fear. And fear comes from selfishness. So that shaman has this quote that whatever you are having in excess, then what you your basic desires are met, and then whatever you have in excess, that's going to eat you up. Don't think that you are eating that. That's going to eat you up. So much for the greed. I'll go back to the quotes of Nisargadatta Maharaj. He says, the true teacher is one's own self. He's the supreme teacher. He alone can take you to your inner goal. And he alone meets you at the end of the road. So confide in your own inner self, and you need no outer guru. This also means to be and learn to be comfortable in your own skin, being by yourself, learning to solve the problems yourself. Because too many times you're in a rush, you're in a hurry to seek external help, but did you actually try it out by yourself? If you did and you didn't have an answer, that's fine. But if you didn't even sit with the problem and you're just too quick to go to someone, hey, can you fix this for me? That's not it. And I've been listening to Manly P. Hall, and I've heard him over years. He's so incredible speaker. I love his book Initiates of the Flame. And he talks about this thing like you should not just directly jump to a conclusion and say that I don't know because you did not do enough of research by yourself. And if you have the patience to sit with yourself with a problem, then you will find out that you're far more capable than you actually take yourself to be because your disbelief in yourself is brought to you by society. Society is never going to like somebody who's self-sufficient. Society, a crowd, is always against an individualist person because they know that they're intelligent and they know how to solve problems. The fact that you can solve your problem, then they see, oh, then what about us? How are you going to use us? What happens to my service? If you yourself know how to solve it all, so there might be some other sort of things that you might want to take help from, which you don't know. Sure, if there is help available, you would take that. But if if you face a problem and your first go-to should be you should try and troubleshoot it. You should try and find out a solution. You should do enough research. And if you don't find nothing at all, that's when you go and find out the experts in that section, and then you go out and seek their help. Why not? For example, when in my bike I have a problem, I'm just too quick to say I don't know. And then I call up the technician and then he tells me, oh, that's very easy. You can do it yourself. So I try it a couple of times. But then after my trying, if still it has not worked out, then I go to the technician and I say that, well, I tried all this. That is a different thing. But you just directly going to the expert because you have not tried, that is not a good shot. At least you should try and see that it didn't work. And then you go ahead with the next step. So, what about clarity? We all want to have clarity in our lives. We want to have clear solutions. But know that clarity is the fruit of this tree of life. You do not just get clarity. To find clarity, you must have the courage and you must learn to sit in the darkness. You must learn to sit in the chaos. You must learn to sit in, I don't know. You must learn to have patience and sit with the problem statement in your waking state, and also when you are sleeping, give that problem to the universe, to the god. God, I don't know, what should I do? Should I stay here or should I go somewhere, or should I take a break, or should I what should be my next move? Just ask God, and ask God this question honestly, not with an ego sense and not with an answer that you want to hear, so that you could beat others down. Don't have that ego. Don't think that, don't ask God, God, make me so number one that others bend down in front of me. No. Just let God decide and see if next day when you wake up, do you have an answer to that? First, keep your question clear. What is it that you're actually asking? Are you even aware of your question? God is Tara. Are you even aware of your problem statement? Or are you just saying that I don't find any clarity in life because I don't know? If you truly have a question, then sit with it and ask God before you sleep, and even in your waking hour, and just sit with it. If you get the answer, then very good, go ahead and do it. If you don't get the answer, then see the next day. So that is how you're going to get clarity. Clarity doesn't just come on its own. Clarity comes, or sometimes clarity might just come with leaving things aside. Like a great Zen monk said, if you are in the river and you dip your feet, then naturally the mud from the base of the river is going to come up. But as you just let it be, then the mud settles down. So that is clarity. That's when you have that clear water. If you lift it in your palms, and you can see the clear water, or you can see the clear water at the surface. So that's about the clarity. Sometimes you might just have to sit with the problem, and there might be days of no answer. There might be days when you tried and nothing worked, you got rejected. There might be days of waiting. And then one fine day, you see suddenly things work out. Not because you tried, or you tried and forced that thing to happen, but you let, in a subtle way, you surrender to the life, and you see that life takes care of life. And maybe you thought that the world outside was so evil and they wanted to kill you, but maybe they were not so evil that they didn't want to kill you. They might hate you, but they didn't want to kill you. But out of fear, you thought so that, oh, world is such a nasty place. You can't trust nobody. Because you had few bad experiences with some evil people who misplaced your trust. But then there are other set of kind people like you. There are other angels too. And strangely enough, you will see the examples in the world that you are looking for. So if you are looking for hate, and if you're searching for it, you will get it. This is so strange. Like in your room, whichever room you are, in your living room, your bedroom, or wherever you are, or outside, just tell your mind to find orange colored things. And now your mind will automatically go only to the orange colored things. So many orange colored things in my room. Orange color pen, orange color guitar pick, orange colored marker. So many orange colored things, right? I can spot so many orange. And now if I turn my consciousness on black things, then I get to see a lot of black stuffs. So that is how your consciousness is. If you're willing to look into the negative, the world will show you enough examples of negativity. And if you're willing to look into the positive, the good, the world is going to show you ample amount of goodness and positivity. Like you should be happy for the fact that you're alive, for the fact that you are breathing, for the fact that you can enjoy your good green tea. But how fast we rush towards things that we don't have and what we want to accomplish without looking at already the stack of greatness and happiness that you sit on, but you completely make that invisible. And you only appreciate that when you lose it. You are happy and healthy now. And there would come a time when you will grow old and you will die. And from that point in time, if you see, you will say that this point of my life experience was great. So I don't know what I was wondering and what I was worrying. Just think about your life 5 years back when you were so much troubled, but you saw that life took care of life and you moved on next 5 years, smooth sailing. But always in this fear that, oh, what's going to happen next? You're alive here and you're happy. So you must be grateful. You must be thankful. You must be thankful to the Lord for everything. Despite whatever problems, there is that divine force that takes care of you. There's that love that makes you whole and happy again. That is your inner self, your inner guru. So just bow down to it. Say thank you and I love you. Say that to yourself. Say that you're beautiful yourself. Like, why would you want a validation from somebody else? World is always going to tell you you are not enough, you are disgusting, you are dumb, you are a loser. Don't seek it from them. Seek all of those goodness and happiness and give that love to yourself. Treat yourself like a child, like a baby, like a happy, healthy, glowing baby. Give it awesome clothes. Give it awesome foods. Keep it happy. Make it laugh, tickle it. Just how you play with a 2-year-old baby. That's so cute. I remember my nephew, he was 2 years old and so cute. I still have his memories. And just the very thought of his beauty, his cuteness overload, that melts me in joy. What a beautiful thing is a baby, so cute. They're the fruit of nature. They're the fruit of God. And God made them so that they could make and spread happiness. I remember when my nieces and nephews were small and they're so cute. Just them dancing around, or even when I go out in the public and I see little toddlers just dancing and being happy for no reason. That's such a beautiful scene to look at. Pure happiness. That is beauty. That is joy. That is pure love. Of how God animates in small babies their lovely movements, of their innocence in their eyes, of their soft little chubby hands and toes. It's so cute. I just thought of my nephew who would sing songs when he was 2 years old. So life is good, life is beautiful. Sometimes the solution is going backwards and not just running and getting mad after it. Sometimes in undoing, a lot of things gets done without you having trying to prove yourself and to the world anything that I'm this and that. My will shall be done. It's my way or highway. No. Sometimes you just want to relax and have faith, have trust that things will work out. Just relax. Your mad running around is only taking you closer to your grave. You don't want that. You don't want to stay so solid. Sometimes you might just want to relax and rest. You see how the nature is. It's raining right now, and it's been raining for days non-stop. So when the time is like that and you have to stay at home, then I just take that as a season of rest. I can just relax and unwind. Have myself some green tea with goddess Tara. Play some soft, nice, light music that I like. Just let go and enjoy what you have. Not just get too mad after what I want and how I can have that. Oh, I'm losing out on this and that. Oh, I'm losing that money. What are you going to do with that excess? When time comes and when the situation is right, things will fall into place. Till then, don't get mad. Don't lose your mind. I need this, I need that because I want to one up everyone. It's not needed. Just relax and let God move. Trust life. Just relax. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to go on fixing every head who doesn't like you. You don't have to do unnecessary burden on yourself. Just relax. Despite whatever be the problem, despite the gang stalking, despite the haters trying to hate you because they've been paid, or despite them trying to make you miserable because you're happy. But know that there's the other side of it, which is there is a lot of beauty, joy, and bliss in the fact that you're alive, in the fact that you are thankful for what you have, and also in being thankful for the letting go. Whatever comes, what is meant for you will come. Whatever goes, let it go. So is the case with life. Trust the supreme energy, the Lord that gave you birth in this body. If it was not the God's will, you would not be incarnated in this body. This head, this body, fingers, toes, legs that moves. And when the time is up for this body, you will die. And then whatever God wants to do with your soul, that the God might want to knead it into a new figure now, into a different life form. Or maybe you might be a star, or you might be a mineral on the planet, or you might be a space dust somewhere in the universe. I don't know. Or you might be a star in the universe. So why get so mad about these ambition? What these low level things? Oh, this is so low conscious. I want to be this, I want to be that. Why? Just enjoy life and let life play itself out. Don't have to get mad and just break your head for no problem at all. Just enjoy your green tea and chill. Be thankful, have gratitude, and love your life, love yourself. That's all that is needed. Bye. I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love. Namaste.